All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. We're talking about the Las Vegas Raiders in tonight's video. Now, folks, we're another day into training camp here. Today, specifically, the quarterbacks didn't appear to be doing anything crazy. Um, Once again, the Raiders defense is extremely good. There are a lot of guys I'm extremely intrigued about. Zamir White, Brock Bowers, brand new rookie first rounder out of Georgia, DJ Glaze's future, JPJ's future. Defensively, the Raiders are absolutely loaded. I just made a video on the defensive line that'll come out in the next couple of days. There's a lot of bright spots with the Las Vegas Raiders. I love Antonio Pierce. I love Tom Telesco being the new GM. I like Luke Getsy. I'm glad Patrick Graham's coming in for the third season. Even if it's Gardner Minshew or Aiden OConnell, whoever wins this starting quarterback job, it's going to be fine. All right. I've actually seen a couple of stuff because today, Gardner Minshew and Aiden OConnell, neither of them are good. All right. Now, this video will probably be a little bit outdated in the next couple of days, but the point still stands. Nobody's really separated themselves from the pack as far as Gardner or Aiden. Anthony Brown's even like the most intriguing guy to me. It seems like Dak Prescott trade or a draft pick in the first round next year. But then again, the Raiders roster is way too good to have a top 10 draft pick this upcoming season. I mean, a lot of things would have to go wrong, especially with the quarterback room. The Raiders are in a really interesting place because this defense is ready to compete. And the offense, in my opinion, is also ready to compete. But the quarterback situation is a little bit murky. So before we get into tonight's video, if you guys enjoy it, be sure to hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL/Raiders content. If you could try and get this video to 100 likes, that would be amazing. But let's get right into it. We'll go through camp notes really quick from what I saw from Vic Tafur. We'll just run through it really quickly to get into the grand scheme of this video. O'Connell overthrows Bowers across the middle and Moehrig with the interception. O'Connell with a pretty clean turn, one bad underthrow. Both quarterbacks loving the Bowers, Mayer, Bryant security blanket. Those are the tight ends. Jones with another interception, goes very high as Minshew overthrows Tucker. Minshew with a touchdown pass to Bowers in front of Epps across the middle. In the next team drill, Jones baits O'Connell into a really bad interception. Pick Palooza today, it appeared like, whether it was Gardner or Aiden. I was reading an article from The Athletic. This was also from Vic. I'm sorry, man. Vic Tafur, not Dick Tafur. Vic Tafur, he's with The Athletic over on the Raiders writer. He does a phenomenal job, but we have a couple of scoops here, specifically with the quarterback position. So let's run through it. According to GM Tom Telesco, he told The Athletic's Diana Rossini this last week on a podcast. They're pretty even. Their snaps in training camp are probably 50-50. They'll both play in the preseason, so they'll both get some snaps there, and we'll kind of see how things go. I don't think we can sit here and say somebody's won yet. This is from head coach Antonio Pierce. I think they both had good moments. Gardner has had several days now where he's made some plays, but then there's also some turnovers that show up that we don't want to have happen. And when I look at Aiden, I see a guy that's thrown the ball accurately, and I've seen some drops by our wide receivers. Obviously, somebody just has to step up at quarterback. We're getting closer and closer. So then, this past Saturday night, the Raiders were under the lights, and Gardner Minshew was the better day. But then the next day, which at the time of this recording was yesterday on Monday, he had a bad day. And Aiden O'Connell performed better. So it's really difficult to see kind of how this situation is going to play out. In our last couple of Raiders videos on this channel, I keep saying the same thing. I don't really care what the training camp, padded practice, non-padded practice. I don't really care if people are doing good or if people are doing bad. And by people, I mean Gardner Minshew or Aiden O'Connell. What I care about is in the preseason. Because, in our last video on the Raiders a day or two ago, we were talking about Aiden O'Connell and how he's just so willing and eager to learn. Gardner was brought in here as a bridge quarterback for 2 years. And, the way I see it, even though Gardner led the Indianapolis Colts to a 9-8 record last year, and he'd probably actually lead Las Vegas to a 10-7 record this upcoming season, I'm still thinking long term. And ideally, I think I speak for most Raiders fans, ideally, Aiden O'Connell, last year's 4th-round draft pick out of Purdue, former walk-on to Purdue University, ideally, he's your franchise quarterback. But what I need to see from Aiden is just preseason snaps, because he can struggle all he wants in training camp, OTAs, mini camp, whatever it is. He can struggle all he wants. But at the end of the day, when push comes to shove, I do think Aiden O'Connell will have a better preseason than Gardner Minshew. I think it obviously 10 games under his belt last year as the Raiders starter. I think that obviously helps. But at the same time, Gardner's been in the league for quite a bit. Whoever the Raiders deploy at quarterback 1 for the regular season, week 1, I do feel comfortable. I do feel confident, because at the end of the day, if Aiden's not the long-term guy, Gardner's certainly not the long-term guy, then we can have these discussions and these conversations at this time next season. It's not something I'm going to worry about this upcoming year, because even though the Raiders, they're one of the best defensive teams in the NFL, they still have Devontae Adams. They've got a bunch of great pieces offensively, even younger guys like Trey Tucker, Michael Mayer, new addition, 1st-round pick Brock Bowers. There's a lot to look forward to offensively. DJ Glaze, JPJ, like Colton Miller. There's a lot to look forward to long-term with the Raiders. But if that quarterback position isn't quite there yet, I'm not going to lose sleep over it, because, like I said, I just think the Raiders roster, I think they're well coached. I think they're just way too good that even if there's dysfunctionality at the quarterback position, I just think the Raiders are still going to be a fine football team, just like they were last year in the second half with Antonio Pierce. A couple of players who've been really making their names in the last couple of practices have been Jack Jones, as always, Christian Wilkerson emerging kind of as wide receiver number 4. Jalen Guyton is also back in practice. DJ Turner's been getting a lot of hype. The wide receiver room depth chart's really intriguing to me, because your top 3 are going to be Devontae Adams, Jacoby Myers, and Trey Tucker in the slot. And then after that, the projected depth chart is Christian Wilkerson, Jalen Guyton, and DJ Turner. And Jalen just got back from injury. But DJ Turner and Christian Wilkinson have really been turning heads from coaching staff members with the Las Vegas Raiders all training camp. So, and then even DJ Glaze, he's getting first team snaps. It actually appears like DJ Glaze could potentially be the starting right tackle for the Las Vegas Raiders this upcoming season. My point is, long term, I feel really good about the Las Vegas Raiders. Short term, there's a lot of question marks at the quarterback position, but I'm going to hold back any judgment or any conversations or anything like that, any debates, until we see one preseason game coming up in a couple of days. So that's it for today. Let me know if you guys enjoyed it. Hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily Raiders content. But guys, most importantly, who do you want? Not who do you think. Who do you want as QB1 for the Las Vegas Raiders regular season, week 1, about a month away? Thank you for watching. Have a great rest of your night. We'll see you soon.